Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. We continue reading from Surah Al-Zumar from the course Imam Al-Ghazali's Jawahir al-Quran wa Durrah, the jewels of the Quran and spares. And inshallah in this session we will be able to complete reading this surah. We have reached verse 67. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وما قدر الله حق قدره والأرض جميعا قبضته يوم القيامة السماوات مطويات بيمينه سبحانه وتعالى عما يشركون. So the theme now is the Day of Judgment. They have not shown Allah His proper reverence. وما قدر الله حق قدره. They do not understand fully the Allah's attributes, Allah's ability, that He is omnipotent. والأرض جميعا قبضته يوم القيامة والسماوات مطويات بيمينه. When on the day of judgment the whole earth will be in His grip and the heavens will be rolled up in His right hand. Glorified and exalted is He above what they associate with Him. This is a very important. What do we have in this verse is that it is the day of judgment. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is omnipotent. This universe will come to an end, since it is really the universe will be rolled up. Let's bring to the picture other verses from the Quran. وَالشَّمْسُ تَجْرِي لِمُسْتَقَرٍّ لَهَا. The sun goes about in its orbit until an appointed time. And this sun is like every other sun, like every other star. It has an end. That's what the Quran says. As for the earth and the heavens, يوم تبدل الأرض غير الأرض والسماوات. The earth will be changed, and also the heavens. This universe will change. What else do we have? The mountain will be blown up. قل ينسف ربي نسفا. The mountain will become like fluffy wool, كالعهن المنفوش, which I understand really as saying that the laws of physics, there will be no gravity, things will change. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who created this universe. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who is maintaining this universe. And here, what it means here is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who will bring this universe to its end. Now, in His grip or in His right hand, we understand these such verses. They could be classified as anthropomorphic verses. The yardstick is the verse in the Quran that says لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٌ. Nothing's like unto Him. So don't think it's going to be a hand like our hands. It's the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Glorified and exalted is He above what they associate with Him. ونفخ في الصور فصعق من في السماوات ومن في الأرض إلا من شاء الله ثم نفخ فيه أخرى فإذا هم قيام ينظرون. The trumpet will be blown, and all those in the heavens and all those on the earth will fall dead, except those Allah wills to spare. Then it will be blown again, and they will rise up at once. looking on in anticipation. So, end of this life, end of this universe, the way we know it, death and resurrection, and after resurrection, it's a day of judgment, the day of accountability. وأشرقت الأرض بنور ربها ووضع الكتاب وجيء بالنبيين والشهداء وقضي بينهم بالحق وهم لا يظلمون. The earth will shine with the light of its Lord. The record of deeds will be laid open. The prophets and the witnesses will be brought forward, and judgment will be passed on all with fairness. None will be wrong. The prophets, the prophets will witness against their own respective peoples. As for the earth, this is where the place where the judgment will take place. There is a hadith collected by Tabarani that the judgment will be passed on an earth where neither blood, on land, neither blood has been shed nor any sin committed. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a'lam wa a'lam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will judge, and everything in the universe is His dominion. Everything belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And only and every judgment that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala passes is just. We just pray that we will be forgiven and that will be destined to paradise. And every soul will be paid in full for its deeds. وَوَفِّيَتْ كُلُّ نَفْسٍ مَا عَمِلَتْ وَهُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِمَا يَفْعَلُونَ. For Allah knows best what they have done. There's nothing that escapes His knowledge, subhanahu wa ta'ala. The minute details, every single thing in the universe. It's an amazing thing how we even when with the ability of the web, the internet, the artificial intelligence, there could be responses to millions of people at once. Subhanallah. I would simply think about it. Here we have computers processing amazing things. Computers processing amazing things. Mind you, when you talk about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And now we talk about the groups, the Zumar, the successive groups, after which this surah was named. وسيق الذين كفروا إلى جهنم زمرا حتى إذا جاءوا وفتحت أبوابها وقال لهم خزنتها ألم يأتكم رسل منكم يتلون عليكم آيات ربكم وينذرونكم لقاء يومكم هذا قالوا بلى ولكن حقت كلمة العذاب على الكافرين. Those who disbelieved, rejected the truth, will be driven to hell in successive groups, Zumara. When they arrive there, its gates will be opened, and its keepers will ask them, did messengers not come to you from among yourselves, reciting to you the revelations of your Lord and warning you of the coming of this day of yours, the disbelievers will cry, yes, indeed, but the decree of torment has come to pass against the disbelievers. قيل ادخلوا أبواب جهنم خالدين فيها فبئس مثل المتكبرين. It will be said to them, enter the gates of hell to stay there forever. What an evil home for the arrogant. And the opposite is true. وسيق الذين اتقوا ربهم الجنة زمرا. And those who were mindful of their Lord will be led to paradise in successive groups, زمرا. حتى إذا جاءوها وفتحت أبوابها وقال لهم خزنتها سلام عليكم طبتم فادخلوها خالدين. طبتم فادخلوها خالدين. When they arrive at its already open gates, its keepers will say, peace be upon you. You have done well, so come in to stay forever. وقالوا الحمد لله الذي صدقنا وعده. The righteous will say, praise be to Allah who has fulfilled his promise to us. وأورثنا الأرض نتبوأ من الجنة حيث نشاء. It means inherit the everlasting land to settle in paradise wherever we please. فنعم أجر العاملين. How excellent is the reward of those who work righteousness. It has been said that some commentators said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created a place for all in both, all human beings. There's a place for them in paradise, there is a place for them for hellfire. So if all of them disbelieve, there's a place for them. If all of them believe, there's a place for them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants his creatures to end up in paradise, but they choose disbelief. And in a sense, awrathna, inheritance, the believers, for example, who go to paradise, they will inherit the places that the disbelievers lost. And those who go to hell will inherit the spots of those who chose guidance, those who ended up in paradise. وترى الملائكة حافين من حول العرش يسبحون بحمد ربهم وقضي بينهم بالحق وقيل الحمد لله رب العالمين. You see the angels all around the throne glorifying the praises of their Lord, for judgment will have been passed on all with fairness, will be passed on all with fairness, and it will be said, praise be to Allah, Lord of all worlds. The believers will praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for his grace, and the disbelievers will praise him for his justice. There are many prophetic traditions about the day of judgment. The beginning with the verse about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, about the earth being in the grip of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the heavens being rolled and being in his right hand subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's a hadith narrated by Imam Muslim in which the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take his heavens and his earth in his hand, and he will say, I am the king. And and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after saying I am the king, there are traditions that within the same context, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask, where are the kings of the earth? Think about the Pharaoh in terms of the name, who divinize himself. Think about those who lead the superpowers. But what I wanted to share is that there are a couple of traditions that say that when the Prophet ﷺ mentioned these traditions, the pulpit shaked. And the narrators of the hadith said that they were afraid that the Prophet ﷺ would fall, like the pulpit would fall with the Prophet ﷺ being on it. Regarding the blowing the trumpet on the Day of Judgment, it is said in one hadith that out of every 1,999 will be destined to hellfire. This is the day which will make the children have gray hair. The idea is that the fear of being one of those who are destined to hellfire. And another hadith, the narrated by Al-Bukhari in his Sahih by way of Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu. He said that the Prophet ﷺ said that between the two, blowing the trumpet, people die, blowing the trumpet, being resurrected. He said between the two blows in the trumpet, meaning Arba'un, 40. He didn't specify what 40, so they asked him 40 days. They asked him 40 years, 40 months. But the idea is that no matter how disintegrated the human being will be in the grave or wherever they end up, the hadith says that something remains for the human being from which he will be recreated. I understand the metaphor, the language of the hadith is that in the language of today, that every human being specifically has a DNA, a genome, etc. And this is kept so identical. Think about what people, not Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, do in terms of cloning. Mind you, when you talk about the omnipotent Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in as much as in terms of all the how people be resurrected, their state and physical state, the rewards in paradise, the severity of the punishment in hellfire. When we say that despite all the vivid description about paradise, no eye has ever seen, no ear has ever heard, and therein in paradise, what has never crossed anyone's heart. I think the same could be applied to hellfire. That despite all the description, again, it's what will be for those who are destined to hellfire. Despite all these vivid descriptions, they will be shocked by the severity of hellfire. وَلِيَعْذُ بِاللَّهِ. With this, inshallah, we came to the end of Surah Az-Zumr. Until the next session, inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.